Two young people have been charged with arson over a large fire yesterday at Taupō's biggest school. Crews contained the large blaze at Taupō-nui-a-Tia College on Sunday afternoon. A block of classrooms was destroyed in the fire along with everything inside, and one building was set to be demolished today. The two youths are due to appear in Taupō Youth Court later this week. The school is currently closed. The firefighting efforts at the blaze were hindered because of equipment failures with aerial appliances. Earlier, I spoke to both FENZ and the National Professional Firefighters Union, who have very different views on this. I began by asking the union's Vice President, Martin Campbell, what went wrong in Taupō.
Well, from reading the incident report, it seems like one of the aerial trucks from Aotearoa Fire Station broke down at the fire. The aerial trucks are the big fire trucks that deliver a huge amount of water from high above. So they let us put out fires safely without having to commit firefighters to those interior fire trucks. And also another report of a command unit from Tauranga Fire Station broke down on the way to the incident. So that's two specialist fire trucks that broke down on the way to the Taupō fire yesterday.
Right, not a good situation, and backup specialist aerial trucks had to come from elsewhere, 2 hours or so away. What did that mean for the firefighting response at the school?
That's right. The Hamilton fire truck had to be redeployed from Hamilton all the way down to Taupō, so that was nearly a 2-hour drive for that fire truck and that fire crew before it was able to get to the fire and start fire operations. And as we all know, fires double in size every 30 seconds. So without the large water firefighting abilities of that aerial appliance, the incident commander was placed in an unenviable situation of having to commit fire crews in a situation where he shouldn't have, because he should have been able to rely on his equipment that shouldn't have broken down.
What does that mean, Martin? Is this putting firefighters at undue risk?
Every time that the aerial trucks are breaking down, it means our officers are having to reassess their tactics. And it means those tactics will often mean putting firefighters at a risk in a calculated manner, but still a risk in any event, a risk that they wouldn't have to be placed in if we had the proper fleet and equipment and investment into our emergency service.
FENZ have acknowledged, though, that there is an ageing fleet and that they've bought 5 additional aerial trucks. They're in the process of coming. Will that solve this problem?
No, that's just going to be a drop in the bucket, unfortunately. Those 5 trucks are just replacing like for like. They're not adding any extra capabilities or increasing our coverage of aerial appliances. That would have replaced the aerial truck at Hamilton, but that still would have taken that truck almost 2 hours to arrive. The truck at Aotearoa is not due for replacement. They've only just begun a replacement project, which is probably going to take, you know, best guess 3 to 4 years before any new fire trucks for that replacement is due online. So unfortunately, once again, the Chief Executive and his board and the Chief Executive team have let New Zealanders down and failing to plan, failing to look after New Zealanders.
OK, we'll leave it there. Martin Campbell, Vice President of the Firefighters Union, thank you for your time today. Tēnā koe.
Cool. Thank you.
Let's go now to Megan Stifler, Deputy National Commander at Fire and Emergency New Zealand. Kia ora, Megan. Do equipment failures like we saw in Taupō yesterday put firefighters at risk?
Look, we believe with a 1,300 fleet, we need to stay on top of maintenance. It is an ageing fleet. We recognise that, Sam. What happened in Taupō yesterday with that truck was a reported sticky waterway valve, and that had happened on 3 times previously, but because it righted itself, it wasn't reported. So we didn't have a chance to maintain that vehicle to the standard it needed to be.
Yeah, there were 2 units that had problems, the aerial unit and a command unit. And the Firefighters Union is saying that they should have been able to rely on their appliances. They've said that FENZ is letting New Zealanders down.
Look, Sam, when FENZ was formed 8 years ago, we inherited a very old fleet. We don't argue that. And since it came into fruition, FENZ has replaced 317 of its appliances. We've got another 60 on track now to be delivered, and we've got $20 million being invested every year for the next 3 years. So with a 10-year asset management plan, investment in fleet, New Zealand should know that we are addressing this issue, but it will take some time.
Yeah, you're talking about 5 new aerial units for the whole of the country. The firefighters are calling it a drop in the bucket. I mean, is it really adequate?
Look, the 5 are the heavy and medium aerials. We've also got a project underway to replace the Type 4s, which was similar to the Aotearoa truck that was used on the weekend. There are many projects underway which our union and firefighters are heavily involved in, and they know that we are addressing this problem. It is an investment problem, and just like every other household or government department, we need to budget and make sure that we can deliver a consistent product over a period of time. And we've got a 10-year investment plan that we will deliver for New Zealand.
Right, but what is the situation today? Can you reassure Kiwis that they can have confidence that the fire service is fit for purpose?
We will maintain our fleet to the highest standard. They're complex pieces of equipment, but with a good maintenance program, our firefighters reporting issues as they occur, we can guarantee our service to the community. And as a firefighter, I know how frustrating this is for our firefighters. You want the best equipment. You want to be there every time you're called. We hear them, we agree with them, and we're investing in their fleet.
Okay, thank you so much for your time today. Megan Stifler, FENZ Deputy National Commander. Tēnā koe.